Our eyes are looking down at the floor to put the dura mater under tension. Our arms, we got maximum extension of elbow and wrist, maximum external rotation. Bring the arms into the coronal plane and then go out to the level of the glenohumeral angle and press out with your palms. And while we are resting, let's continue with our exercise demonstration for exercises to decompress the spinal column. Right now, I'm going to be demonstrating the T7-T8 ELDOA, and the purpose of this exercise is to create space between the T7-T8 vertebra. If there is any type of compression at the T7 or T8 nerve roots, this can affect your extension, flexion, rotation, lateral flexion of the spine, as well as elevation and depression of the rib cage, and inspiration, expiration. The nerve plexus that is most likely going to be affected is going to be the thoracic aortic plexus, and the nerve that's most likely going to be affected is going to be the intercostal nerve. This can manifest as weakness in the rectus abdominis, the external and internal obliques, the transverse abdominis, and pain or paresthesia in the thoracic region, also in the upper abdominal region, the middle abdominals, and pain in the epigastric area. If you are experiencing any of those symptoms, go ahead and give the T7-T8 ELDOA a try. This is going to be a bilateral exercise, meaning we're just going to be performing it on one side, and we're going to be performing it in a seated position. We want to be sitting on the ischial tuberosities, or our sit bones, where our hamstrings attach to. And for this one over here, what we want to do is go into hip and knee flexion. We're going to bring those legs up toward our body. We want to go ahead and we want to go into eversion of the foot by driving the medial arch into the ground, and we want the knees touching one another. From here, we want to go into maximum extension of elbow. Actually, before we get into that, let's get into the spine. We're going to maintain retroversion of the pelvis. We want a flat lumbar spine, a flat thoracic spine. We want retropulsion of the cervical spine by tucking the chin in. With the crown of the head, we're pushing up toward the sky. Coccyx is in the opposite direction, pressing down. With our eyes, we're looking down at the ground to put the dura mater under tension. And now, with the arms, we got maximum extension of elbow and wrist, maximum external rotation. We're going to bring them into flexion, and then we're going to go out to the level of the glenohumeral angle, anywhere from 90 to 135 degrees. For the average person, when the palms are at the level of your head or roughly high, a little bit higher, that's going to be roughly the glenohumeral angle for most people. So just to recap, we have sitting on the ischial tuberosities, flexion of hips and knees. We want to go ahead and drive the medial arch into the ground to go into eversion of the ankles. We're tucking those knees together. We got retroversion of the pelvis, a flat lumbar spine, flat thoracic spine, retropulsion of the cervical spine. Opposite directions. The crown of the head is pushing up and the coccyx is pushing down. Our eyes are looking down at the floor to put the dura mater under tension. Our arms, we got maximum extension of elbow and wrist, maximum external rotation. Bring the arms into the coronal plane and then go out to the level of the glenohumeral angle and press out with your palms. We are going to maintain that for 1 minute. And then after 1 minute, we can slowly come on out of the posture. If you are experiencing any neurological symptoms or any type of weakness, pain, or paresthesia in any of the muscles that I mentioned, go ahead and give the T7-T8 ELDOA a try. During the next rest period, I'm going to be demonstrating the T8-T9 ELDOA, but for right now, our rest period is up. It is time for set number 7. That was just a tiny taste of what can be found in my members only section. If you enjoyed it, become a member for only $5 a month to get access to hundreds of member only videos.